crush all the struggles and pressures that get in your way, big or small, minor or major. We all are fighting demons that others do not know about. But it's how you handle it that makes it look easy. Shop at Mile.today. Again, Mile, M-I-L-E.today. Mile.today.
Hi, this is Jean from E.I.T.H.R, California, listening to the handsome and witty decal of the E.I.T.H.R.
So, let's start with the E.I.T.H.R.
You're listening to the E.I.T.H.R podcast with decal.
We're going to try doing this again. I was doing a spaces earlier today with Just Sweet Angel, and we were talking about a few topics such as the one that's brought back, but due to user error / technical difficulty, we're going to run this thing back again. So this spaces is going to be strictly for the topic earlier of I'm glad I wasn't good enough. And so the purpose of this topic here on the E.I.T.H.R podcast space is to talk about maybe like the pressures of someone entertainers and athletes go through and how it wears down on people. And I'm personally glad I was never good enough to be a professional athlete. I know when I was younger, I wanted to play football, and, the whole glamour of it, right? The whole glamour of playing on Sundays, people in the crowd saying your name when you make a play. Every kid of some sort wants to, have that dream, right? Of, kids want to be like you, people wearing your jerseys, women clamoring, what are your names? You're like the it. But it comes with a heavy price, in my opinion. And so I saw this post and it made me think. If anyone who grew up in the 80s remember the movie Ladybugs or Sidekick, it talks about the actor Jonathan Brandis. The name probably sounds like and Sidekick with Chuck Norris. Jonathan Brandis was the kid who played in that film. Anyway, he had committed suicide around 2003. And from what I've read, it was one of those things where he was kind of weighing off of acting. And apparently it was his own roommate who was kind of giving him grief about how, he doesn't have it anymore, how he's faded out. In modern terms, people call it falling off, right? You fell off. And when you dedicate your whole life to something, such as sports or such as entertaining people, your whole thing is to be the best at what you do, right? To get the recognition, to get the acknowledgement, to get the accolades. You do all this shit to be a name, right? It's not so much an insecurity thing, but it's more like you would give someone to share it. Musicians do this too when they make, song records, videos. They want their song to be the number one in the country, or the number one on iTunes, or the number one in the club, or the number one in rotation. Well, what happens is sometimes your season passes, and if you dedicate your whole life to something, it's extremely difficult for you to accept your season is gone. And so sometimes it gets the best of us, and I was thinking to myself, think I have the kind of mindset where if I'm busting my ass to give you the best I can do, I may lash out at somebody who doesn't understand the sacrifices that were made. And if for some reason, whatever, it doesn't, it'll come off selfish, right? It'll come off, self-absorbent. And it isn't meant for that in any way, shape, or form. But that's how it will come off. And I just think, it's very, very slippery slope when it comes to entertaining and the pressures that come with it. Like, going back to sports, you play a sport ever since you was a young kid, right? And, your whole thing is to go to high school, you get a scholarship to go to college, and you become like, the big-time athlete in college. And the next level is to go professional. And, you have this hype, with the media talking about how you're a top prospect and you're a 4-star, 5-star athlete. Well, expectations come that you're supposed to dominate. Many times people do, but it's easier to dominate in college than it is the professionals. And I tell people, when you're 20 years old and you're going against, an 18, 19-year-old rookie, freshman, sophomore, and you're a junior, you're going to, embarrass them, and you're going to look good. But when you come into the pros as this high expected athlete, and you're going against a 26-year-old veteran who's in their contract year, and you get, for lack of better terms, you get embarrassed in that game, it can shake your confidence, right? And, you got to have a very quick memory to get past it and move forward. But it's also one of those scenarios where I think, after speaking to some athletes, some people, it ruins them. Not because they couldn't get past, doing whatever with, that game that they had played against, a superior athlete, but the expectation, right? It's the expectation, is the pressure of having to outdo what you did before. And it's a slippery slope because I feel, is the bar ever going to be lowered to where a person can have a moment to appreciate, and like I said, it's a very slippery slope. Welcome into the spaces with Just Sweet Angel. Thank you very much, miss. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Thank you very much. I was thinking of, talking about the glad I was never good enough, talking about entertainers or whatever. I remember watching a video with Kevin Hart, and he talks about how he's expected to be funny all the time. Like, no matter what, he's expected to be funny. And if he's at a moment where, it's like the only week in the next 7 months I have for me and my family, people are quick to put the camera phone in their face. Now, again, I understand that it's part of, it's come with the territory of being a celebrity. It comes with the territory of being an entertainer. I get that. It does. But there's also got to be a fine line where you see someone in their personal space, like, they should at least have that personal space to where they're not bothered by somebody. And if you run the risk, if you tell somebody no to a picture, your reputation runs the risk of being ruined because you're now viewed as, the asshole. You're now viewed as, the disgruntled celebrity who says no to their fans. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the kind of person, like I said, I wouldn't lash out at anybody in the sense of being unappreciative, But I just feel I would lash out because they don't understand the sacrifices that are made and why I do deserve to have that moment to myself. You know what I mean? And so I kind of feel with celebrities and with entertainers, they're trapped within their own success. And I don't think I have the...
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to let you know I'm still here, but I'm going to be listening for a little bit. You're helping Mom.
No problem.
Okay, thanks.
It's one of those scenarios too where, you know, the expectation is so high for people when it comes to, you know, being good. And like I said, I don't think, feel, or believe I'm the kind of person who would handle that kind of pressure. You know, and it comes to the mental wellness of a lot of folks when they have these expectations that are put on them unnecessarily by people who don't do what they do, if that makes any sense. So, I don't know. I kind of just have this belief, man, where someone's doing the best they can, you know, give them their props and that's it. Like, it's cool to expect people to do great things, but we need to kind of keep in mind the mental wellness of the people who put these expectations on, because sometimes, man, it's hard to live up to what other people expect for you to be able to do. And then the bar gets set so high for certain people that even when they exceed it, it's still not good enough. You know, and a prime example is LeBron James. He's almost 40 years old, came into the NBA at 18 years old, nearly 40 years old, and here's this 40-year-old who is still expected to carry his basketball team. I think I would have a problem with that, because it's like, look, at my age and what I've accomplished, y'all need to do something. And then some people, like I said, it's never good enough. I think, for me, man, I'm glad I wasn't good enough to be that athlete, to put my body through all the crap that these athletes put their bodies through. And then so many years later, you know, they're told that they're washed up. They're told that they're has-beens. They're told that, you know, your time is over. And when you dedicate so much of your time to doing something, and it's taken from you, whether it's just naturally taken from you or taken from you by injury, it's very hard to cope with that reality. I kind of think it's very similar to being a parent. I want to say motherhood, but being a parent, where if all you've done is raise children, now you come to the point in your life where raising children is over and you have that empty nest feeling. It's like, what do I do now? And if you've been an athlete or an entertainer since you've been a child, it's very hard to find something else to occupy your time that you're good at. And I know I'm kind of coming back to this part, but there's a lot of entertainers and athletes out there, man, that the person who sucks the most is still better than you, right? When it comes to sports and acting and writing and music and, you know, composing and all these different things. And I just tip my hat off to people who, you know, are good enough to do these things. And as they get older, I realize, like, damn, there's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. And I don't feel I'm the kind of person that's willing to make those sacrifices. And I don't think I would have regretted it. I just don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. Like I said, a lot of people get trapped in their success where they can't go out anywhere. They can't do anything. Right? Kind of like I said with the Kevin Hart situation, where Eminem made a song about it. Like, I can't go anywhere without being bombarded with people, which is a beautiful thing. Like I said, it comes with the territory. But it's also one of those problems where if you tell someone to give you their space, you run the risk of your reputation being tarnished because you come off as a bad or unappreciative celebrity who doesn't appreciate your fan base. So that it forces you to have to do these things that you don't want to do, which then builds a resentment. And like I said, then you're trapped in your own success. You're trapped in the world of being a recluse and sticking to yourself and not going out and being antisocial. And I'm glad I wasn't good enough to be a famous celebrity, because I want to be just good enough to where I can receive a monetary reward and not be recognized by the masses. Because for everyone who wants the attention, especially on social media, listen and pay attention to a lot of the celebrities that we read about. Because no matter what it is they do, it's all eyes on them. Even when you think you're by yourself in private, you're like, at any moment, the spotlight can be put on you. At any moment. Look at the situation with the Golden State Warriors. Right? Someone put a spotlight on in practice, leaked that video, and then put that out to the public, and now we're talking about, basketball player getting into an altercation with a teammate, which is something that happens on a regular basis. But because he is a well-known athlete on a well-known team, is under a microscope, is under a spotlight. And I kind of just want to be the person that, nobody really knows much about, and I kind of just go on about my thing. If you are there, Just Sweet Angel, how do you feel about that theory? Like, what's your take on that? Like, what's your opinion on having the attention on? Is that something that you wish? Is something that you don't mind? Is something that you're like, I would love it? Like, what is your take on it? If you're microphone? Are you there? Okay, well, she did say that she was going to be listening. Wasn't too sure if she was going to be able to participate, but like I said, that's for me. I've never really cared too much about the attention as I got older and realized what come along with it.
I'm listening.
Yeah, I was saying, what do you feel about? What's your opinion about being good enough for something to get the attention and expectations and pressure? Do you eat that kind of stuff for breakfast? Like, would that not bother you? Would you be able to control that, or like, how would you feel about that?
It gets to me. You let that stuff get to you, end up like the other, actors that committed suicide. You can't let that small stuff get to you. You have to rise above it. You know in your heart of hearts that you're good enough when you set your mind to something. And you have to have that positive outlook. But when you start feeling like you're not good enough, it's not nothing wrong with you. It's wrong with the people around you. Because they're not uplifting you and praising you for all the hard work you're doing and what you are good at.
And sometimes
Yes,
okay, this is Sarah's mom. Sometimes you could be the best person in the world doing everything you're supposed to, and with a conscious mind, helping everybody and just going forward. And there will be people that will see that and they want to be in your shoes. So they will come out with domineering attacks and stuff. So you just gotta, don't be angry, just like I always say, God, I pray that they'll get blessed, and we don't know if they're walking life and what they've been through, and I surrender them to you. I surrender their pain to you, and I don't let the pain get to me. Sometimes, you know, we're gonna feel pain in our bodies. Like when I go walking and I see people that are really, really starving and walking with a bag and nothing to eat, I feel bad. I feel bad because I feel like sometimes I wish when I do have an extra bottle of water or soda or I'll hand it to them. Or Sarah and I would go to the 99 store and get lunch meat and bread and Doritos and a drink. What was that? The drink that you like, your favorite. Powerade drink. Powerade. And this guy had been sitting there for days, angry at the whole world because he hadn't eaten. But the minute we gave him the bag, he opened it, made his sandwich, and he stood standing straight up with his head up and look if saying, look who loves me. And I go, look at him, he's so happy. And it touched my heart. We were watching from the car.
Right. That is like the very few moments where people can do that. But I'm also kind of looking at, like I said, for athletes and expectations. You know what I mean? Like if you were a successful, actress or singer, because we all know you love to sing. Like just the grueling demand of your schedule, you know what I mean? And
yes,
just the grueling pressure. Like there's some people, like you said, there's some people who can take that pressure and not let it bother them. It's like, it is what it is. I kind of feel, okay, I'll put it this way. If I was an independent artist, I think I would be able to handle the pressure significantly different than an artist who is signed to a major label, right? Because those labels, you're in the music industry, like those labels, for the most part, they determine your schedule. They determine your workday, right?
Yes.
But if you are independent, you might make, less money, but you also have more control, less freedom.
Yes, because when you want to do it and the time schedule.
Right. Cuba Gooding Jr. did a lot of movies when he was younger, and then as he got older, a boatload of movies that would go straight to Redbox. And, I remember making fun of him about that. Not like, I didn't go on Twitter and make fun of him, but kind of just like man, he goes straight to Redbox, huh? Didn't even wait for the movie to release. It got automatically DVD. And then 50 Cent is the one who says, I can do one major film for, I don't know, like X amount of $millions, or I can do 20 smaller projects, make the same amount of money with a whole hell of a less work and stress and responsibility.
Yes.
And I was thinking, that's probably the smarter way to go. And I think, that's a lot less stressful. So like I said, man, I'm glad I was never good enough to play sports because of the physicality you put on your body, like just the whole demand you have to do, and the controlling people do, and the hecklers I would be able to deal with because I have a sarcastic personality.
Yes.
But some people are just downright disrespectful when it comes to just dealing with fans. Unruly. They're talking about your family, and there's a couple of professional athletes where I think it was Russell Westbrook of the Lakers. No, I'm sorry, it was Chris Paul. it was Chris Paul in Arizona, where fans were literally threatening his mother in the crowd.
Oh, I would get mad.
You see what I'm saying? I couldn't handle that kind of pressure because you're still expected to be professional, or LeBron James, where somebody, I think it was in Utah, when they were playing the Jazz, some woman threatened to do something to him or threatened to do something to his son. And I know people were saying it just for shock value. I know people were saying it just to be funny. I know people were saying it just to get attention. But you don't threaten somebody's parents. You don't threaten someone's life. You don't threaten someone's child.
Nope.
I'm glad I was never good enough to put myself in that situation to have to deal with that kind of drama. And I don't think I have the attitude to keep myself mature enough to deal with that, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's that. Listen, I'm about to go ahead and end this right quick because I got to go make a run.
Okay, nice talking to you.
You know, I appreciate you and I appreciate your mom jumping on this for me. And that technical difficulty that I was having earlier for the past 2 episodes, I fixed it. I'm looking at it right now. It's been addressed. Moving forward, we won't have to worry about that ever again. Ha ha ha.
Good.
I was so mad. I'm like, wait a minute, because I've done it before, and I know. Well, I thought I knew I did it, but the last 2 I didn't. So, but you know, it is what it is. And then next time you have one, I can jump on with you, and then we can, talk about whatever we got to talk about. But thank you very much. Just for jumping in on this.
Yes, definitely.
I appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon, girlie.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
Anybody who wants to go ahead and join in the Spaces conversation with me, just go ahead and get on your Twitter account and then follow me at the E.I.T.H.R, E.I.T.H.R. What I do with my spaces is once the conversations are done, I go ahead and I edit them and upload them to the E.I.T.H.R podcast and then broadcast that out for everyone to be able to listen. So I appreciate those who were listening to the previous 2 episodes that I did, some technical difficulties where I was not able to record them. But moving forward, we address the issue, and you ain't got to worry about that moving forward. So thank you guys very much. Talk to you soon.
This is Dave in Auburn, California, and I'm listening to the E.I.T.H.R with Decal.